Go ahead. Yeah,
All
go ahead.
right. So what we have what we call flag on the play, and flag on the play is when me and Gary see anything egregious. We see players, athletes, male, female, coaches, male or female, say anything egregious. It's our job as sports enthusiasts to call these people out. So with no further ado, flag on the play.
Dang, I
Thank
beat
you.
it too.
All right. So we getting a little bit tournament talk right now. Flag on the play goes to everybody that is outraged, fake outrage that our team, North Carolina Tar Heels, gotten into the tournament. You know what I got to say to y'all? Oh well. This is for everybody, and I mean everybody had something bad to say about the North Carolina Tar Heels getting to the tournament. Hey, y'all wanted West Virginia to get in. The governor of West Virginia wasting his time, wasting his effort, wasting his heart, talking, speaking about West Virginia should have made a tournament. I bet none of y'all could not name now five. As a matter of fact, not even five, three players on West Virginia roster. I bet y'all couldn't even name the head coach of West Virginia roster. They didn't get it. Oh well. We got in the tournament. Y'all acting like the Tar Heels getting in like they was like they was a number one seed or something. Bro, they was the last four in the tournament. Gary, me and you talked about this since it
Didn't
happened
think
on
they was gonna
Sunday.
make it. Didn't think they was gonna make it. We did not think they was gonna
Wait,
make
I
it.
didn't think we was gonna make it, but hey, they made it. Congratulations. Now, what they do, they have to play tonight. They play against San Diego State. If they win, they gotta play against Ole Miss. If they can win against Ole Miss, cool. If they win tonight and against Ole Miss, job well done. If they don't, guess what? They are 14 seed, 15 seed, 16 seed. They wasn't going to get far anyway. No, can you name me a last 13, 14 seed that made it to the Sweet 16, that made it to the Elite 8, that made it to the Final Four, and made it to the championship game? Not a lot. The last one probably St. Peter's or something like that. That happened.
St. Peter's was a 15 seed 2 or 3 years ago.
15 seed. All right, that was the last one. Before then, you don't know. And that coach, and anyway, dog. It just all right. We in. Gary, I guarantee you, West Virginia won't gonna get that far. If we don't get that far, if we don't get that far, it is what it is. But y'all that choir one wins. No, bro, the name got it. It don't matter. They won enough games. They did what they had to do. They won. West Virginia didn't even. They made it today. They made it to the Big Ten tournament and got knocked out in the first round. At least we was 2 games. At least we was one game away from making it to the championship game if we would have won against Duke. But it is what it is, dog. Like, y'all stop crying, bro. Like, y'all, hey, North Carolina got in. Oh well. Nobody can name me not one player on West Virginia team besides the people in West Virginia. It like, bro, like them niggas. I'm sorry, they weren't gonna make it far anyway. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Here go your flag right here. Oh man, this dude right here. All right, my flag on the play is similar to yours, but it goes to the women's side. My flag on the play simply goes like this: how dare the committee get this wrong? And this is not fake outcry. The South Carolina Gamecocks did not get the number 1 overall seed. Why? Because they lost to people that nobody else wanted to play. They went and played top teams all over the country when they did not have to. Why? Because they wanted to straighten the schedule. They wanted to test themselves. They wanted to really see where they were. And how did they fare in these games that they played that not many other teams tried to do? Well, with one of the toughest schedules in the country, they were only 14-3 or 16-3. They won a lot of games. I think it was 16-3. They won a lot of games and lost a few. And they were penalized for losing these few games, even though they had arguably the toughest schedule out of all of the other top seeds. I understand you're asking, why is this a big deal? This is a big deal because Dawn Staley said it herself. If we are going to be penalized for having a tough schedule playing non-conference games and going through our grueling conference where we are the hunted, then we will never do this again. There's no way that South Carolina shouldn't have had the number 1 overall seed. They gave it to UCLA. Arguably not the right decision. UCLA didn't have a daunting schedule. They got better, but I don't think UCLA is better than South Carolina. They definitely didn't have the better schedule, the harder schedule. So, yes, my flag on the play goes to the committee for the Women's March Madness Selection Committee. You got it wrong, and I have no problem saying it. Flag on the play.
All right. So I'm play devil's advocate. You said that UCLA wasn't better. I disagree with that. When UCLA played South Carolina, UCLA beat the brakes off South Carolina. So UCLA, I believe, is a better team than South Carolina. But do I think UCLA may have deserved the I guess the number 1 overall seed? I think they only lost maybe 2 games this season to USC. South Carolina lost 3 games. I would say UCLA probably deserved it. I had to check out I have to check out the records. Yeah, I agree. But I agree with what you had said. They did. I don't think UCLA played a harder schedule than South Carolina, which it means a lot. And those 3 losses that I believe South Carolina may have had was one, I know, UCLA, and then the other 2. UConn.
Yeah, and I forgot the other one, but my whole thing is this: we talking about losses, right? Look at who they won against. They didn't just play their conference, which is tough. They went and played. They went to a UCLA, right? They went to a USC. They went to a UConn. You know what I'm saying? They played those games, and although that's why I say losses technically don't mean certain things if it's not the same thing. If UCLA had the same schedule as South Carolina. And let's keep it a buck, right? We both paid attention a lot more, to women's college basketball this year. Hey, UCLA know who they was at the beginning of the year, so they would have lost some of them games that South Carolina wound up winning, or they possibly could have. We'll never know because they didn't put themselves in that situation. Yeah, UCLA may have beaten the brakes off of South Carolina, but South Carolina should have enough credit and enough. They should have had enough cojones to say, you know what? When I look at this, because we know the top 25, it goes in and out, right? Man, South Carolina played everybody in the top 25 thing this year.
They did. They did.
You know what I'm saying? How many did UCLA play? And that's all that thing. What, TCU got a number 1 overall seed, if I'm not mistaken?
Yeah, they did.
Yeah, I'm not mad at it, but I'm saying, let's look at South Carolina's schedule versus everybody else's schedule. Yeah, they might have had 3 losses, but who were the wins against, though?
You're right. And they only had 3 losses, we're saying a lot.
Only 3. They intentionally went in saying we're probably going to have 3. So that's my whole thing. At the end of the day, it's like, they got 3, but they knew they was going to lose them, but they went and played everybody that was top tier in this country this year.
Yeah.
All I can say is that Dawn said it herself, so it's a lot of pressure on them.
Yeah.
If they don't win the championship, then hey, the committee was right. But if they win the championship,
hey, it is what it is, man.
All right, you ready to get to the next one?
Yes, sir. All right, so we have When Life Comes at You Fast, and pretty much when life comes at you fast is when you get on that plane, on that helicopter, and you have your parachute with you, and you're on cloud 9, cloud 10, cloud 13, cloud 15, and you jump off that helicopter or that plane, and you jump off and that parachute don't work. This is what happens. All right, this goes to one of the greats in NBA history. This goes to one of the most dominant forces in NBA history. This goes to what he preferred as himself, Superman, aka the Diesel. And I am talking about Shaquille O'Neal. The reason he's getting with life comes at you fast is because if you paid attention last week on the Crew NBA on TNT, he had a few things to say about the Detroit Pistons, but it wasn't necessarily. Well, it was the Pistons, but he got the name wrong. Now, I know a lot of people don't know the name of head coaches, which is perfectly fine. You should know the name of one of the head coaches that has turned the franchise around from last year to this year. Should be a candidate for Coach of the Year as well. And that is J.B. Bickerstaff, the head coach for the Detroit Pistons. I know a lot of people asking why I'm saying that name. Well, Shaquille O'Neal last week on national television said Chauncey Billups has the Pistons going in the right direction. And he kept talking until Candace Parker, WNBA legend, Hall of Famer, well, should be Hall of Famer, stated that I can't let this go on no further. Who is the head coach of the Detroit Pistons? Shaq had said Chauncey Billups. And Candace Parker has Candace Parker said, is J.B. Bickerstaff Shaq? And you know what Shaq rebuttal to her was?
What?
Well, I don't pay attention to Detroit Pistons anyway. I wonder why. Gary, can you recall? I'm gonna ask you this. I know it's a long time ago. I know it's over 2 decades ago. Gary, can you tell me the last time that the Lakers went to the finals? Who did Shaq when Shaq was with the Lakers and Kobe? Who was the team that they played that they lost to, Gary?
Detroit Pistons. I already knew you was going with Detroit.
You already knew where I was going. So he still, I think he's still having flashbacks of the Chauncey Billups. I think he's still having flashbacks of Prince. I think he's still having flashbacks of Ben Wallace, Rasheed Wallace, Richard Hamilton. 5 players I just named. But I think he's still having flashbacks of all of them right now. And I'm like, Shaq, man, you just got to admit, hey, I was wrong. You admit you was honest to the point that you had said you don't watch the Pistons, which you have to watch the Pistons because you just had said Cade Cunningham. You like Cade Cunningham and you like Isaiah Stewart. So you got some. So you must be paying attention some to the Detroit Pistons. But to get J.B. Bickerstaff and Chauncey Billups mixed up, you got one like comes at you fast, sir.
That's funny though. Oh, that was funny. I'm not gonna lie. Okay. All right. The next to last segment that we have is called the money shot. The money shot is something that I want you to remember, something that you shall not, cannot, will not forget. If you happen to hear it again, come back to this here episode. Give us a couple more views. Turn it up. Listen to the whole thing again. Get our watch numbers up. We just that doping, and we provide things that other people just don't. So without further ado, this is my money shot. There it is. All right. That's funny. I'm leaving us on the side right now. This week money shot goes is something that was heard around the world over the past weekend and all yesterday. Money shot goes right here. Bill Belichick, baby. Bill Belichick doing a yoga pose with his girlfriend. Now, this is the other one that I saw on there. But basically, Bill is living his best life. We just never thought we would see this type of interaction from this older man in his 70s doing poses that we just never seen before. This is something that you do with your kids, I guess. But he's doing it with his young PYT girlfriend, pretty young thing. Bill Belichick, you get the money shot because your life after being the New England Patriots head coach, you look, sir, to be in the qualifier of having the best second life ever.
Yes, sir, man. Look. Hey, he may be 70, but hey, look, his brain, his mind, his body telling him he's 23. Go ahead, Bill.
Hey, Bill is doing. I
love that for Bill.
Bill is doing something unheard of. But yes, ladies and gentlemen, that is my money shot. It goes to Bill Belichick. Who the fuck it, right?
I wouldn't have thought it.
We out here giving flowers to this man. We definitely didn't like him when he was a coach.
Not at all.